declared war on America. We are at war. We are at war. That was 9/11. That was at 9/11. I played it yesterday, and the liberals had said, "Oh, come on, you jingoists, you right-wingers. Yeah, there's no war. All is well around the world because we have King Obama in power. The supreme leader, the dear leader, is in power. Kim Jong-il Obama is in power, and all is well. And anyone who criticizes him and says the king has no clothing is an enemy of the state." Well, I ask you, are we at war? We're not at war, they are. Well, it's true in a sense, we're not at war. They're at war. They never stop being at war. That's right. We're not at war, they are. Everything is well, according to the egghead academics who are running the country. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Clifton in Sacramento on KSTE Radio. Go ahead, you're on the Savage Nation.
Michael, top of the day to you, my brother. Man, I want you to know, man, that your voice is not, you think it might not be heard, but it is being heard. Because I guarantee you one thing, as confident and as courageous and as articulate as Romney was today, in his last statement, his last three words were, and his last comment was, the Islam spring has become an Islam winter. And you, the one that coined that phrase, Arab Spring or whatever.
Arab Spring, Arab winter. No, Clifton, thank you for reminding us of that. We have the tape. I'm sending you a free copy of A Trickle-Down Tyranny. Gentlemen, if you have the tape of Mr. Romney saying, using my quote of Arab winter, would you play it now, please?
Over the last several years, we've stood witness to an Arab Spring that presents an opportunity for a more peaceful and prosperous region, but it also poses the potential for peril if the forces of extremism and violence are allowed to control the course of events. We must strive to ensure that the Arab Spring does not become an Arab winter.
Okay, apparently someone read the book. Apparently, somebody read the hardcover version of Trickle-Down Tyranny because it's in there. Long before anyone ripped it off and used it on their website, I wrote it. As today, I quoted a new phrase that will be stolen by tomorrow night, if not by stolen already on the blogs, from the ivory tower to the loss of power in one administration. Take it and run with it. Use it if you can. As hesitant and as middle of the road and as meek as Mr. Romney is, he's the only choice we have. But let's stay away from the election for the moment because I don't believe the average person gives a rat's you-know-what about this. I was in a barber shop today getting a haircut. I'm going to the very, very tragic CHP, California Highway Patrol, funeral tomorrow in Vacaville for a slain officer who was killed during an ordinary traffic stop. I'm honored that they permit me to attend the funeral. And I'm in the barber shop. And I try to listen to what people are talking about. Nothing. Nothing. It's as though nothing happened. Oh, no one even mentioned an ambassador killed. Luckily, the woman who cuts my hair has a husband who's an officer of the law. I won't say where. And he's a military guy in the National Guard. So she's very keen on all these things. And she whispered to me. She wouldn't talk about it, but she whispered of what's going on. And she said, I can't wait for next year. I said, let's pray. I mean, you have any idea that the people who really know what's going on know how bad it is? This is awful. It's getting worse. We have a fake diamond in the White House, and the people are taking him for the real McCoy because the media is telling you, don't believe what the diamond analyst said to you. It's a fugazi. Don't believe him. Believe us. It's not a fake. This is the Hope Diamond in the White House. Obama is the Hope Diamond. He's not a fugazi. Don't believe yourself. Don't believe anything you actually see. Believe us, because we know. Well, look, I don't have to pour on the bad sarcasm. I've done it too often. But there's something so wrong with this picture when after the murder of a U.S. ambassador by a mad mob who tears him to shreds, basically, take a look at the picture of the guy. Does he look like he was smothered? He looks like he was beaten to death. They look like they beat him to death, those throwbacks. The throwbacks beat him to death. And instead they attack Romney, as they have attacked me for years for daring to utter the truth of what's going on in this world. And it didn't start yesterday. This was a coordinated attack on the United States, on 9/11, in Egypt, and in Libya, and it was sent as a message. It had nothing whatsoever to do with that film that they're quoting. That's the media's excuse. They're trying to blame the guy who made the film. this little movie that no one's ever seen. Nothing to do with the film. Nothing whatsoever. This is a planned attack because mobs don't have AK-47s with this type of RPG, according to my reading. Some of them may have these weapons, but they don't have these anti-tank grenades that are extremely difficult to procure. So they were given these anti-tank grenades that were launched into the embassy to create the diversion, which permitted the mob to go and seek out the ambassador who was in a hiding place. And they knew where the hiding place was because Libyan security showed the radicals where to attack the ambassador. It came out today. After the Libyan security forces, who were hired to protect the consulate in Benghazi, moved Ambassador Stevens to a second building, they then told the militant crowds where he was hiding. It was an orchestrated attack, as sure as I am sitting here.
Savage.